Imagine waking up before dawn, your stomach empty, your hands raw from yesterday's labor, and knowing that the food you eat today may be the only thing keeping you alive. This was the reality for medieval peasants, people who eked out existence in villages, fields and forests where survival depended on what the land could provide. Contrary to popular imagination, their diet was neither plentiful nor luxurious. Meat was rare, reserved for festivals or the occasional lucky hunt. Instead, they relied on grains, vegetables, and whatever forage plants could be gathered from hedgerows or woodland edges. Bread was coarse and dark, often mixed with rye or barley, baked in communal ovens that could only handle so many loaves at once. Porridges simmered endlessly over open fires, thickened with legumes or oats, flavoured by wild herbs. Ale or small beer often replaced water, safer to drink and sustaining in calories. The mystery lies in how people survived on such meagre fare, enduring hunger, cold and exhaustion day after day. Their resilience came from intimate knowledge of the land, seasonal rhythms and improvisation that allowed them to transform simple ingredients into life-sustaining meals. Every bite was calculated, every crop harvested with the awareness that a misstep could mean starvation. Understanding their diet is a window into the hidden ingenuity of medieval survival. Medieval peasants lived in a world defined by scarcity, climate and social hierarchy. Land belonged to lords, leaving peasants with small plots to cultivate what they could. Fields produced grains like wheat, barley and rye, forming the foundation of their diet. Seasonal vegetables, cabbage, leeks, onions, beans were added when available. Fruit was often limited to wild berries or the occasional apple, and protein came from eggs, dairy and rarely meat. Hunting and fishing supplemented the diet, but access was restricted by law and privilege. Preservation was crucial. Smoking, salting and pickling extended the life of foods, ensuring survival through winter. Cooking was labour-intensive. A single pot of pottage, a watery stew of grains and vegetables, could feed a family for days. Caloric intake was modest, yet it had to sustain constant physical labour, ploughing, harvesting, carrying water, tending animals. Food scarcity was relentless. Famine could strike without warning, leaving families to survive on roots, weeds and leftover grain husks. Nutrition was uneven and malnutrition common, yet peasants endured. Their survival depended not on abundance, but on careful resource management, community sharing, and an almost instinctive understanding of seasonal cycles and natural edibility. The hidden logic behind the peasant diet is a testament to human ingenuity under extreme constraint. Every ingredient served multiple purposes. Grains were both energy and storage, keeping for months if dried properly. Pottages were nutritional multi-tools, combining legumes for protein, grains for calories, and vegetables for vitamins. Herbs added flavour, but also antimicrobial properties. Root vegetables, stored underground insulated from frost, became life-saving winter staples. Even waste was minimised. Vegetable peelings, stale bread and grain husks could be boiled into porridge. Cooking techniques maximised heat and fuel efficiency. Open hearths required constant fire tending. A pot placed near embers would simmer slowly, nourishing multiple meals. Preservation techniques, smoking meat, fermenting dairy, pickling vegetables, were learned through trial and error, passed orally across generations. Timing mattered. Planting, harvesting and storing crops aligned with lunar and seasonal cycles. Peasants read the land like a map, knowing which berries were safe, which mushrooms edible, which roots medicinal. Modern sensibilities view such a diet as meagre or harsh, but within its context it was functional, deliberate, and remarkably resilient. It was survival cooked into every meal, knowledge embedded in practice rather than written text, a system designed to stretch limited resources while sustaining life under constant threat. Modern life has removed us from such harsh dietary realities, yet lessons from medieval survival remain surprisingly relevant. Understanding resource efficiency, preservation, and seasonality informs contemporary emergency preparedness and self-reliance strategies. Simple techniques, storing grains properly, fermenting vegetables, conserving fuel while cooking, can extend resources in crises. Caloric and nutrient density, balance of macronutrients, and minimal food spoilage are principles rediscovered in modern nutrition science. Yet they were intuitive for peasants relying on every bite. Beyond food, the social dimension is instructive. Communal sharing, knowledge exchange, and cooperative labor optimized limited resources. Even in affluent societies, understanding how to survive on simplicity, maximize scarce ingredients, and rely on local ecosystems strengthens resilience. The medieval diet demonstrates that human survival is not about abundance, but adaptation, observation, and skill. Today, while we eat for taste and convenience, peasants ate for life, and their strategies teach us that efficiency, creativity, and ecological awareness remain timeless tools for enduring uncertainty and scarcity. Looking back, the meals of medieval peasants reveal more than hunger. They reveal strategy, ingenuity, and survival intelligence. Every coarse loaf, every bowl of pottage, every preserved vegetable was part of a system designed to stretch scarce resources while sustaining work, family, and life itself. It was a diet built on necessity, observation, and intimate knowledge of the land and seasons. Modern eyes may see it as austere or uncomfortable, but within its context it was brilliant and resilient. Understanding what peasants ate reminds us how deeply human life is tied to environment, labor, and social networks. It also challenges our assumptions about comfort, abundance, and necessity. If their survival depended on knowledge now largely forgotten, then studying their practices offers insight not only into the past, but into how to live more sustainably today. In every simple ingredient and every clever preservation technique lies a lesson in endurance. The peasant kitchen was a laboratory of survival, and by listening carefully to its stories, we can learn how the oldest strategies still shape how humans endure, adapt, and thrive.